I'm just gonna pull out a few items from my refrigerator that we're probably gonna need. Cilantro is perfect for Mexican dishes because it helps give it that extra sass that you like to eat. You're gonna need some onion, garlic, a few tomatoes, not too much, bell peppers, and of course, we cannot forget our handy dandy spinach and chicken. So now we have all of our vegetables out that we're gonna stuff in our spinach and chicken quesadilla. Now, one of the first things you wanna make sure that you do when you're practicing good hygiene, especially with vegetables, is make sure that you wash them. A lot of times when these vegetables are grown, there's different pesticides that may be in the area, or just even different bugs that may be around. So you wanna make sure you wash them really good under the sink, rub all on them, get anything off that you don't want in your body or cooking with your food. So I have 2 bell peppers that I'm gonna be using, a green and yellow one. I like to put the yellow in there because it helps add a nice color to everything, helps keep it vibrant, give it that Mexican feel that you want. We got some cilantro. And the great thing about vegetables is they're not like fruits in the sense that you really have to measure them out as to see how much you're using per meal. Vegetables are one of those things, it's almost like water. You can never get enough of it. So by all means, if you love a certain type of vegetable, these are the ones that I'm gonna use for this demonstration, but if you have anything else that you like, by all means put it in there and rock and roll with it. So I have a zucchini. The zucchini is great for this type of dish. It's really colorful. It tastes great, I must add. And it's great with multiple dishes, not even just pasta. You could even put it with Mexican food, pasta dishes. I mean, just about any type of dish that you want to make, you can use zucchini. And one of my favorite things to do is if you not really want to cook your zucchini, you can even eat it raw. And it tastes just as great. All right, so we got all of our vegetables that are gonna go inside of our quesadilla chopped up. We got some cilantro, zucchini, tomato, green and yellow bell pepper, as well as some purple onion. It's gonna be fabulous. I cannot wait. So now we're gonna let that sit for a while because we need to cook our chicken. And I'm using chicken for this dish, but by all means, if you have another protein you wanna use, I would stay away from beef because it's a little bit more fatty, but if you wanna use some shrimp, fish, all of those meats are compatible with this dish. So I'm just gonna prep the chicken, take it out the package. I'm using chicken breast simply because it's most easy to use in this type of dish. I probably wouldn't use chicken wings or any other type of boned chicken. I'd probably use some type of boneless chicken. So I'm just gonna place it on here. We're gonna prep our chicken by rinsing it. In the same way that we kind of do our vegetables, we're gonna rinse our chicken as well, to remove any type of extra that may be on it. I'll let that. And okay, we're good. And now we're going to season it. So when it comes to seasoning, I'm gonna wash my hands as I do this just so I can make sure I get any type of raw chicken off of me and I don't cross-contaminate. But when it comes to seasoning, if you're trying to eat healthy, make sure you stay away from seasonings that are really high in sodium, simply because, especially being people of color, African Americans, or even minorities, we tend to have higher blood pressure, and that puts us at risk for stroke or heart attack. So if we can stop this now while we're younger, we can make healthier habits for a long term. Okay. So I'm gonna get some onion and garlic powder rather. Some Mrs. Dash, that's great. Basil. And I think we're going to also put some olive oil on it, that's great. As well as, if I can find it, okay. Oh, it was hiding. Some cracked pepper. So we're gonna bring all of this over here. Now I typically like to start off with just putting just a dab of olive oil all over it because it helps give it some type of substance for all the seasonings to stick onto. So we're just gonna use a little bit. And what I love about these little bottles, you can get them from H-E-B. That's where I bought this one from. They're really inexpensive, which is great for college students, and it's really good portion control because it only, you only really need a little bit. So if you have a large bottle, I tend to overuse olive oil, but if I have something small like this, I'm forced to only use a little bit. So we're just gonna coat that really good. We're gonna pick up some garlic powder. Just kind of coat that. And all of the seasonings that I'm using do not have salt, or if they do have salt, it's very, very little, and that's exactly what you want to shoot for. We're going to sprinkle some basil, which is really great seasoning for chicken. I love using basil. It's kind of similar to like pizza. That's what it reminds me of, the seasoning that's on pizza. Mrs. Dash. Now, Mrs. Dash is an excellent seasoning to use, and it comes in many different types of flavors. I'm using the garlic and herb, and as you can see right here, it is salt-free. That's exactly what we want to use, but I know it also comes in like lime and citrus, all different types of flavors. I think you even have like a Mediterranean flavor as well. So whatever type of feel that you're going for with this type of dish, I'm sure you can find something that's low sodium or salt-free to use on top. And then we're going to top it off with just a little bit of cracked pepper. That's great. And I forgot to pull the lemon, but we're going to sprinkle some fresh lemon juice on top to help make that chicken nice and tender. All right, so we just squeezed our lemon on top. It is looking fabulous. Now we're gonna get ready to pop it in my George Foreman, and I love using this particular tool simply because, first of all, it's quick, and as college students, we wanna eat and eat fast. You can cook your chicken in roughly anywhere from like 5 to 10 minutes. Perfect, and that's exactly what we want. So we're just gonna, first, we're gonna spray it with a little olive oil, just to make sure it doesn't stick. And then we're gonna line it with the chicken. And it's on, and we're just gonna let it sit. And I'm gonna make sure this little pan is at the bottom to ensure anything that runs off, it'll catch it right there. So we have our chicken going. We can check on it right now. It's doing pretty good. We'll probably do it like another minute or so. We have our pan warming up. I'm just gonna put a little bit of that same olive oil in the pan. This is gonna be to saute our vegetables, make them nice and cooked and yummy. So we have the same arrangement over here. I'm just going to swirl this oil around a little bit just to make sure it's evenly distributed. Turn this up a little bit. And I'm going to start with some onion. Now honestly, the order really doesn't matter. It's all going to the same place. I just want to make sure that we get a little bit of everything so that our quesadilla is nice and colorful. I'm going to add in some zucchini and finish it off with some cilantro. Now here's the spinach we're going to use. We're actually going to hold off a little bit because spinach cooks pretty fast. So we don't want it to be too cooked down, because actually when you cook your vegetables, you're really cooking the nutrients out of them. So you just want to really lightly toss them in some olive oil. Just make sure the heat hits it just enough to lightly braise it, and then we'll put it in our quesadilla. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take our chicken off. It's getting a nice crisp coating on the outside. So use a fork. And it is done, and we're just gonna let that cool while we finish up the rest of our quesadilla. So our vegetables are going right now. We're gonna let them toss just a little bit longer. You can really start to smell all the different vegetables cooking. It smells wonderful right now. I'm just gonna turn the heat up a little bit. We're gonna season it with some onion and garlic powder and black pepper, kind of like how we did with the chicken. All right, so we just finished slicing our chicken. As you can see, it's nice, beautiful. It's still steaming off the George Foreman. And we're gonna go ahead and take our vegetables and put them to the side for now. Oh, they're so pretty and colorful. This is gonna be great inside of our quesadilla. All right, so we're gonna use this same skillet to actually put all of it together. It's gonna be so good. So what I like to do is go back and coat the skillet with just a little bit of olive oil again. This just help make it nice and crispy for the tortilla. We got our fire or our burner on medium heat. You don't need anything too high. Now this is what's really important when it comes to worrying about what actual tortilla to use. You want to use something that's either whole grain or multi-grain. These have 100 calories in them and very, very minimum sodium as well as carbohydrates. You can get these from H-E-B as well. Really great. Try to stay away from any type of tortilla that has whole wheat. No, I'm sorry, not whole wheat. Try to stay away from any type of tortilla that has white flour. Even corn would be great. Corn's really healthy. We're just going to use one of these. And so we're just going to let that sit a little while. And while that's going, we're going to get some cheddar going as well. With this, you can choose, I guess, a normal cheddar. I prefer to use something that's a little more fat-free since we are trying to make this a healthy dish. And every little bit matters, even when it comes to what type of cheese you use. And I'm only going to use, and now this isn't going to be something super, cheesy, indulgent like you would think of at a Mexican restaurant. Since we are preparing a lighter version of it, we're just going to use like a handful of cheese. Just sprinkle it on there. We'll probably use 2. I think we'll be okay. And we're just going to let that sit and cook. And while that's going, I'm just going to slice up my chicken just a little bit more fine. If you want to have bigger slices of chicken, that's perfectly okay. I want mine to be just a little bit easier to chew and bite, so I'm just going to let that be smaller. So now you can see our cheese is starting to melt a little bit. That's exactly what we want. We're going to go ahead and spoon our vegetables in here. And that's okay if you have a lot of vegetables and it's kind of like falls everywhere. That's what we want. We want it to be overstuffed and just flowing with deliciousness. We're going to add in some chicken. And like I said, this does not have to be pretty. You use your own personality and you make it exactly how you want. And then we're going to follow back with just a little bit more cheese. And it's colossal and it is awesome. Now here comes the fun part. We're just going to slightly pick this up a little bit. And then this may get messy, but that's okay. We're just going to try to flip it over just a little bit. And we're sizzling. Just going to let that sit for about a minute, maybe a minute at the most, a minute and a half at the most, and then we're going to flip it over. And as you can see, I flipped it over, but I still have a lot of my ingredients that have spilled onto the side. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. When you have that amount of vegetables and you're really trying to make it like a healthy quesadilla, that's bound to happen. But I like to call it the overstuffed quesadilla because it's overstuffed with all the good stuff that your body wants. And it's going to be so good, you won't even care about it. So after you get a nice pretty brown color on both sides, the cheese, as you can see, the cheese is melted. Oh, look how pretty that is. Get all your vegetables, your chicken, your cheese. We got a nice brown color on both sides. I'm gonna go ahead and take it off the skillet. And then everything else that's remaining on the side, we're just gonna scoop it right out and serve it to the side. And we have a lot of zucchini. That's why I keep having to spoon it, but that's okay. And getting the rest of our chicken. All right, so I just plated my spinach and chicken quesadilla. It looks yummy, I must say. I'm just gonna go back and garnish it with a little bit more cilantro, a little bit tomato. It's just beautiful. We're gonna cut it in half. You don't have to cut it, but I think it makes it so much more fun. There we go. All right, now I really like to eat my Mexican food with some kind of salsa, just anything to help dip it into it, kind of like some of my other dishes. So if you can get a salsa, or you can make it yourself, but it's a cottage student. I know we're short on time, so this is definitely a quick fix to getting what you want. So just use a tablespoon or a teaspoon of salsa on the side, and even a sour cream. Now I will warn you, sour cream can be unhealthy. But if you use it, you know, according to the serving size, you'll be okay. So I'm only going to use about a teaspoon of sour cream. Just going to have it on the side. And we're just going to spoon that out. Okay. And there you have your spinach and chicken quesadilla overstuffed. And it is awesome. And I'm going to be the first one to give it a bite. Let me see if I can pick it up. I'm just going to put some more vegetables inside of it because I love zucchini. Zucchini is so good. Okay, let's give it a try. That's really good. I took a big mouthful, but it is so good. All your flavors are popping out. You can really taste the bell pepper, the chicken with the seasoning. I mean, the cheese, the spinach. It is just awesome. And I say, if you're gonna eat healthy, this is the way you need to do it. So I'll see you next time, and I'm gonna get some more of this quesadilla.